Cappy's back again. Cappy's back. Tell a friend from South Dakota. And we're going to review this book that I read on the plane. There it is. Oh, gosh, I got to turn off that light. There we go. The Pilgrim's Digress by some guy named TJ Martinelli. TJ Tajaj. Some guy. And I'm just going to, it's going to be an unconventional review because I was taking notes. Now, I took my notes. I think this just hits it right off the head. This is two books in one. First, a Christian book with a pair of balls, not some pussy sappy acoustic guitar modern day church service, but a violent action packed book. The second book this is a philosophical political book on the limits and radical extremes both laws and freedom can reach. Perfectly describes the current witch hunt of SJW, of where the current witch hunt of the SJW Nazis will end. And it also brilliantly shows how socialism and its variants are a cultish religion, no different than the religious right of the 1980s, even more so. And so that's it. That's what this book is about. It is a dystopian future, although it's about a dystopian future where they are recovering from dysutopia. There's the turbulent era. And TJ does not hide it that the turbulent era was some kind of civil war, presumably within the United States. And the fallout was that they had a murder, like the SJWs and the leftists got way too powerful and controlled. And a brilliant thing he points out there, and well, let me get ahead of myself. Where your fellow citizen became the dictator, where you had to comply like the Borg, otherwise social credit scores, and not, oh, you're Christian, we're going to mock and dox you. We're going to threaten your family. We're going to get you fired. Where it wasn't the government necessarily forming an army and oppressing the people, but the people themselves who became their own Stasi of one. And as the institutions were afraid of being called ists or isms, and they all had the correct political ideology, if you did not conform, then you were kicked out. And then the turbulent era happened, which he doesn't go into, but a lot of people died. The hero, he is not happy about what he had to do. But now, after basically a civil war, you have two factions of how are we going to form a post-collapse America. And one faction is having a theocracy. The other is a constitutional republic. And the plot, which I'm not going to ruin because it's a darn good book, shows intrigue and backstabbing and corruption within both of these factions, even though one is theocratic. And then this guy, the hero, he fought during the war. He's older than most of the young people wanting to establish either a theocracy or constitutional republic. He's called once again to do what he's got to do, or what he's done, to prevent a bad government from forming, which is a Herculean task. So I don't want to ruin it, but it's pretty good. And as he's originally with the theocrats, because he's a very good Christian and he follows it, and it ended the turbulent era. But at the same time, he is not without secular morals and principles, where it's not just, oh, it says it in the book, let's do it. So he is torn between the two. And then kind of in a detective way, which is, I guess, is TJ's signature. He figures out all is not well. It's not going to be a nice, happy vote. And okay, there we go. It's going to lead to another war. And so what he does is interesting at the end. Anyway, it's the thing I like about the book intellectually is that it really makes you, TJ opens your eyes in several things. I mean, maybe I'll just read a section here. Let me, I fold it down. Okay, Amos glared at his son. Have any of them lived in a society that allowed a child to be violated by adults on theater stage during a performance as part of a scene written in the script, while the prevailing critics called it high art and threatened to get anyone who dare utter a word against it fired from the job, stalked at their homes, and harassed everywhere they go? So that's so he's obviously pointing out to our modern day Nazis on the left, the social justice warriors. And this one, another one. Okay, here, this is where the secularists and the constitutional Republicans are arguing, or constitutional Republicans, not the political party of the Republicans. I mean, people who are for a constitutional republic. Similar accusations were made up in, let's start here. Imagine what troubles 2 or 3 church elders could cause this entire nation were they to misuse their offices. Dissenters could easily be written off as sinners in rebellion against godly authority. And then the secularist responds, similar accusations were made up in the past by secular politicians against anyone who opposed them. However, instead of calling them sinners, they called them traitors, bigots, and racists. The temptation to abuse power is there no matter what title you give someone. So, you guys know I like to bust TJ's recently dropped balls, his prepubescent balls. We like to bust his balls. TJ's a damn good writer, and he's also a very deep philosopher. And I was very impressed. So I think this is the one thing I really like, the number one thing I like about this book is it makes you think, it makes you realize, holy cow. You start to confuse, like, what's religion anymore? What's the difference between a political ideology and a religion? Neither of you got any empirical evidence except for, capitalism and free markets seem to do pretty good. What are rights? Is it better to have a theocracy because they actually keep the stuff together? A monarchy, I guess, would be another. It makes you start really pondering and considering different forms and optimal forms of government, of which there's no perfect form. Monarchism. Sorry, what? Somebody say something? 1903. Look it up. Anyway, so that's the number one thing I liked about the book. The other thing I liked about the book is it's not that thin. I guess you would call this not an essay, a fictional essay. It's a short read. I'd say it's more like a graphic novel. This would make a great movie. It's action packed. I like that technology is not completely gone. There's sabotage and intrigue. It's a good story too. I mean, it's a page turner. Like I almost got through it all the way flying on a 2-hour flight, and I had to finish it, and it was good. So Hollywood looks. It doesn't. It's not really necessarily about the religion, but Hollywood would never. This would make a good movie, make a good action flick, and whoever the heck makes Christian movies, I don't know. If in order to do that, it's like you belong to the same group of guys who do Christian music and now modern day Christian sermons, like where you cut the balls off of your pastors and no men are allowed to have testosterone. And oh my goodness, the church is supported by women and God speaks to the men through the women. When you find your balls, I forget, never mind. Why am I even talking to those people? All right. If you are a masculine Christian, you will love this book. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I mean, there's vengeance. I mean, this stereotype, although it's not, the stereotypes do have an element of truth to them. There is, even Ned Flanders was a badass. If he got pissed off, he was jacked. But they are not incorrect in that the modern day suburbanite Christian male is a pussy. He is, yes. I mean, it's just. There will be no crusaders pulled from this current generation of Christians. But I do know that there are some of you who are fire and brimstone. You believe in the Bible and you believe in Jesus. You are true Christians. But you're also men, and you're sick of having your spineless 24-year-old pastor who just got out of seminary. Well, you see, we're going to allow, but single moms, you got to go in there and say, maybe the Lord's, I'll shut the F up. So if you're a pissed off masculine male Christian, maybe you're a female Christian, you're going to love this book. I mean, I'm not Christian. But I like the action story that was in this book, and then the philosophy. But then if I was a Christian on top of it, that would be a whole third level to like it. A masculine Christian. I'm sorry, you regular, normal, pantsified, suburbanite Christians, not for you. There's blood and there's violence. the wife like is dutiful and not succumbs. What's the word I'm looking for? Submits to the husband. I mean, she's like making food and I'm here for you, dear, and whatever. It's like, wow, okay, well, that's more just to paint color for the background of the hero. But this is a very, very, very good book. It's short. I like it. It compels me to read other of TJ's books because he writes kind of film noir. The Stringers, The Informers, Men Who Walk Alone, and I can't say that. I don't want this to get I want this to get shared. I was gonna pick on TJ. I can't. The ball droppers. There. That's the Pew Boys. The Pew Boy Clan. That's another book he wrote. But anyway, no, TJ did a good job with this, and I'm kind of looking forward to reading his other book as well. And so that's about it. So I know we had some super chats here. Of course, DJ Aftershock is in here, and Dre, because I don't know what these guys do. I don't know what they do. They never leave. They never leave the computer. DJ Aftershock, $5, dude, bro. Throw your C's up for the. Throw your C's up. Hang on. Carlson School of Management. Wait, hang on. To the Carlson School of Management and the Gophers. What would a G be? How would you do a G? I don't know how to do a G. Yeah, bro. Gang, gang. Throw them up. YOLO. Somewhere there was a what do they call it? Yearbook. And they only did it 1 year, but there's a yearbook of people I was going to school. Like you saw everyone who was at the Carlson. I should look up those people. See where they are. I bet you they're all mid-management level. Finally, maybe paying off their student loans. Nonstop Dre for $2. Cappy complimenting TJ. Cappy is getting soft. Just kidding. Hey, I gotta be fair. He wrote a real good book, Dre. He wrote a real good book. I'm gonna be picking up Dennis Malone's book later. Oh no, I'm sorry, Dennis. What the hell's Dennis? Not Vince. Good Christ. Malone is the name of the character in his book. Vince is the Masculine Geeks Vince. He wrote it. So I'm going to get to that. But I may even be postponing the book reviews. I know I said I'd be doing more book reviews and taking things easy, but I have to switch my residency and my LLC from Minnesota to South Dakota. And that way, those Marxists oh, bye, here comes the money. Get ready for the Capital Flight. Here it comes. Or actually, there it goes. Capital Flight and Brain Drain. Bye, Minnesota. We're out of here. So we got that. So I got lots of a-hole consulting to do here, guys. So it's hey, the goddamn Bacon. What's up, Bacon? At thegoddamnbacon.com. He's not been around for $5.56. About to head to my folks' place and smoke cigars and hang out in their new hot tub. What I missed? Nothing. Just get this book, Bacon. If you want to read a good action book, a good badass Christian action book, get this book. It's short too, so and it's a page turner. You'll read it very quickly. But go have a good cigar on me, man. That'd be great. And you guys can tune into Bacon in his own podcast at thegoddamnbacon.com. All right, that's it. More Asshole Consulting on the way. To see you guys later. Toodles.